We're here. New season. It's not a game week. How you feeling?
Good, yeah. It's always exciting the start of a new season, the end of the pre-season, into the real stuff this week. So it's exciting. The players are looking forward to it.
I know it's an obvious question, but like given the experiences, young squad, core of it, given the experiences of last year, do you think that the side is potentially better prepared or better experienced to try and win the flag this year?
Well, it's about trying to get better all the time, and last year we felt like we were able to do that a lot of the time. We were able to get better most weeks, and this season's been no different as far as our attitude towards that is trying to get better and improve. We'll have some experienced players that'll be out this week, so we'll be a bit younger again, and that's another great opportunity for our players to keep improving and keep developing. We feel like we've got a good, strong young core of players that are really important to us, that are carrying a fair load for us now, which is how it should be. The older guys have been terrific for us, and now we've got a new group coming through.
Too early in the week to chat about who might be missing around.
Well, the ones that are ruled out at the moment are Hickey, Fox, Clark. As far as the guys that played the end of last year, there's a few like Constanti, a first-year player. He won't be available, and maybe one or two others.
Been a sort of dicey off-season for you in some aspects, John, in terms of injuries and all that. Are you happy with that? Sounds like you have most guys on deck for round one.
Yeah, there's probably there might be maybe three or four that are missing from last year towards the end of last year, but we've had a few challenges over the last couple of months, but hopefully those guys are starting to come back on board now, and their availability is really important. We feel like our best squad is a really competitive squad, and those guys in our 30-odd that have played a bit of football are pretty competitive. We've got a really good younger group as well that'll probably get a taste of football at some stage this year, but we feel like the majority of players that have been around the last couple of years, if we keep those guys in the park, we'll be competitive.
Big sort of first month of the season, a bit probably for Pete Laddams with the number one ruck role. I mean, how have you seen him come on the summer, just given how disappointingly his season ended last year with that suspension?
Yeah, we found that Pete last year, when Hick wasn't available, he played some really good footy for us last year. So we've seen what he's capable of doing in the senior team, and we've been really happy with it. Over the pre-season, he's had a pretty good pre-season. He missed the first game with a bit of tendonitis in his knee, but he was able to come back in that second practice game and play pretty well. So he will certainly, he'll have a load to carry, and that's what he's looking forward to. I mean, that's what we recruited him to do, just to come in and play a key role for us. And he's an important player. If you look at what Gold Coast are able to do, Wits is as a good a ruckman as there is in the competition. Their centre bounces in particular are really good, so he'll have a big job.
It feels like it's the week after that week the question has bud.
No, he's all right. He's good. It's fantastic. He saddles up for his 19th season of AFL football. It's extraordinary, really, and 36 years of age. But we've managed him over the off season, and he had a bit of a calf over Christmas, but he's been able to do a fair bit of training since then. He's come back and played, a half to three quarters of the practice games, and got into a little bit of touch. He was able to have a really good training session last week. Last Thursday was a really solid hit out for him, where he had a really tough session. So hopefully he's pulled up well and gets through this week and available for this week. It's great to have him in the team. It's guys like Logan, and that'll help feed off him and the experience that he's got.
Just saw him walking before, like yelling out compression on his name. There's no dramas.
No, that's most weeks he'll have something going on at 36 years of age. I'm sure that's not too unexpected. I've got most things going on most times as well, so I'm no longer much different to Bud.
You've said he'll miss games. Is it mostly going to be a week-by-week proposition, or you have sort of like a schedule how long you're going to play until he gets a rest, or what's kind of plan?
Oh, it's a bit of a loose schedule, I think. You don't sort of lock yourself into too much, because you're not really sure how he responds from week to week. So I'm sure there's going to be different weeks when he won't play. We'll look at the 6-day breaks. We'll look how he pulls up. It's obviously his full body. It's not just one thing that we'll be looking at. It's his full body. So that'll depend from week to week how he is. But it'll be a pretty tough ask. I think most people wouldn't expect him to play every week, and if that's once every 4 or 5 weeks, we'll see how it goes from there.
We do something similar for the older guys like Luke Parker and whatnot, just kind of manage them like Geelong did last year with their older players and manage them through.
Well, we're a bit different. I think every team's a bit different. Luke Parker's only 30, and we haven't got too many older players, to be fair. So, whereas Geelong had an extended list of those older experienced guys, and our older experienced guys are really important for our younger team because we haven't got as many of the experienced guys. So Geelong's setup's completely different to ours, and every squad manages their squad according to what the ages are, how they pull up, where they sit in the ladder at any particular point in time. All those things come into it.
John, just with Bud, is he or are you or both of you stoked to just have a year of footy for him? No 1,000-goal milestone, no questions about his contract. It's probably going to be his last go. A couple of those things that he might have even pushed past in terms of distractions.
There's always something coming up, isn't there? I mean, last year was a wonderful year, though, wasn't it? I mean, I thought to be able to have that experience of him kicking 1,000 goals last year, that was an amazing thing to be a part of. I mean, that wasn't so much a distraction; it was just a great joy to be a part of that. So, and all our players thought the same thing. So, no, I just think his ability on the ground to be able to contribute to the team's important, but it's not just going to be measured on goals alone. It never is. We've never done that, but particularly towards the absolute back end of his career, it's what his matchups might be able to allow others to do. All of that will come into it. So it's just good to have him available and running around this year.
John, obviously, that saying the last game of the year didn't quite go to plan last season. There's always a lot of talk in the wash-up of the grand final. One thing that you had a lot of pundits say was, potential, I guess not scarring, for want of a better word. The memory of that kind of hanging out the season. Is that actually a real thing? Is that something that can happen?
Oh, well, it's 6 months ago. We've moved forward as far as what the new season looks like. I mean, in the end, we've got a lot of young players that got some experience out of that game, but also out of the year. And so, we balance it up at the end of the season like we did last year. We reviewed it, went back and looked at it. But we're really confident in this next group coming forward. If we get the majority of our best team on the park, the majority of weeks, we think we'll be competitive. And our younger players, we believe, will keep learning and growing and getting better every week. If you look at our midfield, for instance, it's a young midfield, and part of the joy of playing every week is that they're playing together and they're starting to play a fair bit of footy together, which is a real bonus.
Are you excited to see the next step taken by Errol Goulden as a midfielder after his summer, and in particular the Carlton game? Yeah,
there's a few there. I mean, we were obviously pleased. I mean, Millsy at 25 won our club champion last year. James Rowbottom had a super year. Chad Warner in his third year, played some really good footy. And Errol, we've got, we expect him to be a really good player for us because he prepares so well, he trains so hard, and he runs so hard. That type of two-way midfielder that we really enjoy coaching. And so, he's one of a few that'll come through. They'll have their ups and downs, as all young players do. They'll have their ups and downs, but we're confident in the direction they're heading. He's a good young player, and we're really confident that he'll be a good young player for a long time for this footy club.